How's everybody going? It is fishhook time. It's 6:03. I think this clock is a little fast, but I'm hoping everybody is doing good. Hope everybody had a good week. I look forward. Seems like I haven't talked to you guys in a long time. I look forward to being with you guys tonight. Hope you guys are having a good week. NB Custom Tackle, my buddy Nolan. How you doing, man? And my buddy's all the way from British Columbia. You're going to have to type up the name of your town, Nolan, so I could tell everybody. I think that's a French name. We've been having some conversations this week. It's been great. Let me say here at Fishhook, we're going to be referring to Fishhook as Fishhook Outdoors because it encompasses catch, clean, and cooks, everything that we catch or we kill in the hunting arena. We're going to clean it and we're going to cook it. We're going to feature those type of meals other than going to the store and buying tuna and stuff like that. We're going to try to catch it unless otherwise we have to. So you're from Kamloops. Very good, man. Very good. Well, guys, I want to thank you again very much for the comments. They have been nothing less than awesome. Good interaction. I feed off of that. I'm still waiting, and shame on you guys and ladies for not showing me and sending us some pics on our Gmail. And another thing too, besides that, and I'm not trying to be intrusive in people's lives. Charles Tatum, how you doing, brother? My buddy from Tarpon Springs, Florida. I would like some feedback from you guys as far as if you'd like to see. I fish for a lot of fish, and hunting, we're going to be hunting a lot of different game. Give me some requests or some ideas on what you would like to see in a recipe, a catch, clean, and cook, or if you guys have a really cool recipe on something, send it on down the pike. I want to look at it. Maybe with your permission, I'll modify it. And I'd like that. This is the exciting part of this. Nothing in life is cast in concrete. Only two things. You're going to have to pay taxes and we're going to meet God one day. We're going to have to die. So those are the two definites. Everything else is up for deliberation. So saying that, send me some recipes. Send me some of the, maybe something great that your mom made and in a fish dinner or a wild game. I would love to incorporate it here and maybe modify it, put a twist on it. You never know where we'll go with this, and I think it'll make some really good stuff to talk about. Well, we've got a new cooking video. I'm finishing the editing tonight. It'll be coming out tomorrow, and I'll put it on social media. But I told you it was on pesto. It's a catch, clean, and cook pesto, and that's all I want to tell you. And it's from the fish that this fish is the one I caught in Florida. But I'm going to be featuring on upcoming cooking videos, and it's really exciting, man. Really exciting. We are going to be featuring freshwater fish as well. Like I've got walleye, I've got smallmouth bass, striper, crappie in the freezer. Each week I'm going to pull out one and I'm going to dig up some good recipes and see if we can modify it and really take, as Emerald Lagasse would say, we're going to take it up another notch. So that's really our ideal for the cooking channel. To share great ideas with you guys, and I want to feed off of you. Now I'm going to stop and answer Charles. Let me see if I can make this screen a little wider. There we go. Let me see. Hold on just a second, guys. There we go. Just made some blackened flounder. Oh, yeah. Do you have any blackened recipes? I have some, and I've got it. There's a certain seasoning that I'll be using on that, but Yeah, blackened is good. Now, listen, the wrap on blackened is the doctors say it's really not the best to eat. I love the taste of blackened fish. Ideally, grilled is better. So I'm with you, Charles. I love it. I order a lot of blackened food. I don't want to make it a constant diet because some of the ingredients are really not the best for us if you want to be healthy at this. And the beauty part of our channel is that whether it's live game in the field, which is as organic as you can get, and if you're catching fish, and be careful, about the mercury content. We want to be aware of all these uh, fuzzy edges to the world of fishing, to be careful not to get caught in that, and to try to choose the middle road when we catch fish. But we want to take those fishes, that game, and come up with all kinds of great recipes. I modify almost every recipe that comes across my desk. Now, I'll tell you about my dad. My dad, we were raised in the trucking business in New York and warehousing. And it was a family owned business, my dad and two of his brothers. And then later on, just my dad and one of his brothers, another uncle. And it was great. I learned a lot. I am where I am today because of that. But I never knew my dad had it in his genes. My mom was a ridiculously good cook. I mean, I'm the oldest of four boys, and we wore her out. She was cooking night and day. And this is a tribute to my mom. She loved cooking. I love it. She just cooked incessantly. She was a full-time cook just to keep up to us. So saying that, I had all these great dishes, and wow, it's hard to top that. So later on in life, my dad and mom retired to Florida, to Palm Harbor. And well, first they went to St. Petersburg for a while. Then they moved to Palm Harbor. But I would come visit them once or twice a year with my family, sometimes without. My wife would go ahead with the kids. But check this out. I see my dad cooking in the kitchen all the time. He got into he heard of the Vitamix, so I got a Vitamix blender. And I would copycat my dad. He'd find a good thing to a recipe, or he had it's not a dehydrator, it's the vacuum sealer. So I would go out and get a vacuum sealer, and he would get a juicer. I would go out and get a juicer because I wanted to, I love my dad and I wanted to be like him. But every time we came down to my dad's house, we were in, like, our jaws were dropping. Where did this come from? We never saw it growing up, but he turned out to be a fabulous cook. And it was because it was a cooking out of desire, not a need. It was just him and my mom. And my youngest brother, Paul, was still in the house for a little while. And then after that, got married and flew the coop. So they're alone. And my dad's coming up with these fabulous sauces. I mean, totally out of here. And then he found the local farmers market. He found a lot of these produce markets, not the open air. These are undercover in a building, and a lot of these international markets that my dad, I got his genes. I got to tell you that, because I check out things and I like to mix and match. I made a great pesto this week. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to wait till tomorrow to see it. But there's so many different variations of pesto. We all know pesto to be basil. Basil is by far the most aromatic, oh my goodness, aromatic plant that I know of. And you take the leaves, you throw them in just like a bay leaf, you throw them in the sauce, and what a beautiful taste. And then, you've got cilantro, you've got Italian parsley, you got all these different ingredients. So I've got recipes for like 3 or 4, and even one that I don't like. I don't like mint at all. I don't like mint in my food by no means. So a lot of you people do, and that's cool. I just don't like that. But they have even mint pesto recipes. So there's a lot of really cool recipes with, like, when we make a basil pesto, We put pine nuts in it. And us as Italians, we doll it up. Now, there's all different variations of this, but I'm just talking a little bit on the cooking theme tonight, that we add grated Romano, grated Parmesan cheese into it, and we really doll it up. My wife takes it another step, and she completely revolutionized the basil pesto, and she puts tofu in it. And I am telling you, it comes out creamy, a totally different texture than the way I make it or the way I've had it. So this is the fun thing about cooking, that I like to experiment. You can't really ruin the food unless you overcook it and you burn it. And I've done all of the above. But I like to come out with good recipes, and it'll sparkle a dish. It'll, make a nice piece of fish taste like what you're going to see tomorrow is gourmet. And I did it in like 30 minutes. It wasn't bad at all. It was a lot of fun to do it. And I have all the steps outlined. You guys can do it. You guys can doll it up. Put a couple of tricks in there, and you could turn it into something that I never dreamed of. And that's the beauty of it, and I want to hear about it too. So that's the fun part about the cooking, and these cooking videos are really going to be good. I've got some really good recipes, some different ideas in my hat where I want to do walleye. Walleye is a prized fish. Now, I've been talking to Nolan. He is NB Custom Tackle out of British Columbia. We're going to talk about you later, Nolan, so be ready. But I've had good conversations with him, and up there in that part of Canada, I was talking to him, and no walleye in the water up there. So I was really surprised. We've got walleye in all these major lakes. They've been stocked. The one lake that's really superior for walleye is Dale Hollow, and then that's off the Dale Hollow Dam. Then there's another one up in Norris Dam, that somebody caught a 30-incher walleye. And this is all in the state of Tennessee. So walleyes are all over. Walleye is like the freshwater grouper. The meat is very similar, glassy, very firm, delicious white meat, very thin, bony skeleton, very thin. So a lot of times, even with an electric knife, I use like Mr. Fisherman. I got another one too, right through it and leave the skeleton right down to the bones. So you don't really have to go crazy with a knife. You can do it with the electric knife, and it goes absolutely. You don't waste a lot of meat at all. It's such a clean cut. But that body is very similar as my buddy DM. You still in Japan? I'm doing great, and I hope you are too, man. And with a knife, yes, you'll catch a little bit more meat, but it's so much better when you do with an electric skillet knife on those fish. Like that fish, the walleye, is just like very similar in the meatiness and the small bony structure of a Spanish mackerel. Now, the walleye is a lot more fatter unless you get really big Spanish mackerel. But very meaty fish. They all feel like a bluefish too. And when I skin out a bluefish, man, I get some nice big chunks of fillets, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I did a lot of filleting this past week when I was in Florida. I've been home, I'm in my Tennessee home now, and I've been home since Sunday afternoon. I flew in. So it's good to be back here in Tennessee. It is, and of course, guess what? Came home, rainy weather. I mean, this is crappy weather now. I hate this. We are having a crap winter here in Tennessee. DM, you're still there. Might be leaving soon, though. The family's having absolutely they are. So I'm happy for you, but do the right thing, and I know you will. I know you will. I don't know how many kids you have, but do the right thing, man. It's a killer being away from your family. Oh, man. It is a killer, especially if you have little kids. It's tough. It's tough. So my heart goes out to you, man. But I'm sure you're going to do the right thing for your family. And Anyway, so the cooking videos that we got coming up we're really going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think, Charles, you're going to like that. We'll blacken some. I mean, I'm loving it, but it's not, if you look up the information on blackening, it's really not a healthy alternative for us. Tasty, oh yeah, but it's not the most healthiest. Listen, if you can grill it, if you can broil it, you can put it on the outside of the grill. Oh man, you got something. Bake it. Absolutely, it's by far the best. Now, I did that video on the what was that fish? Boy, you think I would remember, right? It's my last food video when I put it in the pan. Well, we did it with the striper and we did it with the cod. We didn't bake it in the oven. We just ever so slightly pan fried it. It was out of this world. Now, if you can do it really light like that and not on super high heat, and you can use olive oil, you can use avocado. Olive oil just has flavor that's second to nothing. You can do the, like I said, avocado oil, coconut oil. There's no flavor to that. It's sad. And coconut oil has a high smoke point, and so does avocado, but there's a lot of good properties. It's unfortunate. Some of the best things we have to eat in life, they really need a lot of help. They're not the tastiest, and usually the worst foods, you guys all know this, the worst foods taste the best. And they're the ones with all the poisons and the toxins. And well, you know how that goes. I'm not going to preach at you, but we just got to watch what we eat. So fishing is a great place to be, and I'm getting excited thinking about upcoming the turkey season in March, and I've got to check. I haven't hunted here in Tennessee since I've been here, so I've got a new thing on the hunting regs with me, and I'm going to learn it. And I have friends in the industry now that we're going to be hunting together. So we are going to see, I think turkey's coming up. We're going to do some, we got some coyote hunting coming down the pike. I'm going to be doing it with my buddy Sean and his son Logan out in the West Tennessee and Memphis area. He's got some land there, and the coyotes are all over the place, or coyote, however you pronounce it. And we're going to be trying to pick them off. I'll be using my 30-30. I want to pick them off with that. And I've got a 30-06 and an 8mm Remington Magnum, but it's a little overkill. I think I want to, if we can get them to come in, a little close, I want to use the 30-30. I put a really cool loophole scope on there. And that's a 100-yard, 150-yard gun at max for real super accuracy. So that we're going to be doing that. Now, Dawson Fayard, I think you're new on the chatting thing. Let me answer this. I saw your toadfish rod video. I like the toadfish rods. I like it. I ordered, I've got 2 of them, and I'm very nice. They got a really nice blank. That's good. There's another one, Temple Fork Outfitters, Gary Loomis, who owned Loomis Rods, sold out to Shimano. He got hired on with Temple Fork Outfitters. Now, I met Gary Loomis at a G. Loomis Rods, just as famous as St. Croix. They make some really great rods. Pricey, but great. Really nice quality. I almost destroyed one of them with a huge redfish. It was a 9-foot 2-piece rod, spinning rod in Florida. I was wade fishing, and I hooked a beast that the first guide and the next guide literally got pulled out of all the wraps. I could not believe that. It was a fight. I had 10-pound braid on, and I got that beast right to shore. I didn't lose that fish, but it destroyed that rod. That was such a mismatch. But when you go fishing, that's why it's called fishing and not catching. You don't know. You're pretty sure about what kind of fish you're going to catch. You got a targeted species you want to catch. But like I was talking to Nolan, if you go ice fishing, when I went ice fishing about 5 years ago, the last time I did it was in Minneapolis, and I went to Mille Lacs Lake. I went to Lake Winnebagosh and some other lakes that they didn't want to tell me the name of. It's secret. That's the holy grail of fishing. You keep a lot of that stuff secret. But they're drilling these 8 or 9 inch holes, and we're dropping little freshwater shrimp, little these red worms. I mean, it was just cool little setups and jigs and stuff. You don't know if you're going to get a 40-inch pike on the line. You might get a big walleye. You might get, they have a burbot there. I caught all of that there. I didn't catch the walleyes, though. For some reason, they weren't running. Zipper mouth. Yeah. That's right. Those teeth, yeah, nasty. Everything is choppers with sharp teeth. So you don't know what you're going to catch. And you got to hope and pray. That's why, as you guys really tune into this, and that's why this is really a tutorial for a lot of guys. I talk a little more elementary, and I'm purposely doing this. I'm not trying to bore you guys that are dyed-in-the-wool fishermen or hunters. Not trying to teach any new tricks. That's not the objective here at all. No matter what age you are, I started out when I was like 6, 7 years old fishing, and I gleaned. I learned so much from watching others and experimenting, and a lot of it is self-taught because nobody wants to open their mouth. We don't want to do the channel this way. I'm not going to do that. It's open forum. I like to talk. I like to hear some response back. Give me some questions, and then we could talk about it and compare experiences, because I can learn from a 10-year-old as I could from a 70-year-old, and hopefully vice versa. So you got to be open-minded, and this channel is to help young fishermen and young ladies that are in the sport. As I said this in the very beginning when I started my channel, fishing has been portrayed, unfortunately, as a man's only. It's always portrayed as man, father and son. Well, what happened to the poor daughters? I have 2 girls. I took all in fact, one year, we went to Florida visiting my dad, and I love fishing. And that was my outlet. I like almost 20 years straight, I didn't do any hardcore fishing. I had to raise a family with 3 kids. So, and I put everything into it. If I'm going to do something, I don't do anything half-ass. I do everything, well, halfway. I shouldn't have said that. Half-baked. Everything is full throttle and no looking back. So I hired a guide. It was reasonable. I took my 3 kids out. It was us 4 and the guide in a small little flats boat, similar to what you've got, Nolan. And we went out in the bay over there. And we caught, I remember this very distinctly, 17 speckled trout we caught. But guess what? I caught 0. Do you know why the dad caught 0? And I think you dads can pick up on this. My kids, we were using, what kind of bait? Bloodworms. If you ever seen a bloodworm, they look like a regular worm, except at the end they come out with a nice hook, 2 hooks. And it stings, and it's almost like a suction. They get right stuck on your hand. They didn't want to touch it. They were screaming and stuff, and the kids were young. So I would have to cut it, put it on the hook, bait it, and I tried. I attempted to fish, and I said, this ain't going to happen. The way to get success today, let me be the bait boy. I'll take care of it, and I'll be the deckhand. And I did, and the kids had an absolute blast. But just the world of fishing is just so wonderful. It's not just, my girls had just as good a time as my son. I had such a blast seeing that as a dad. The guide was, having a blast. 17 speckled trout. That was a real good haul. And that was just a half a day. So, and I encourage you guys that are dads, get out there with your wife. Amy absolutely loves fishing. We tried this last 2 weeks, but there was like 3 different days she had taken off from work. Unfortunately, it was raining one day. Another day, it was just too late in the day to really get out there, and it was messy where we were. I didn't want to bring her into that. So there was some obstacles in the way, but normally we go out on the boat or we do some weight fishing, and I have an extra set of waders with me, and it's hysterical. She never wore waders before, but it looks so cute. It's so funny, but we just had a blast. And that's how you guys make memories, whether it's with your wife, whether it's with your girlfriend or your daughters, your sons. Get out there, put your itinerary and your stuff aside, your hobby, and try to make them your hobby when you do all this. And it's so rewarding when you get older. You can look back. You can never relive these days. That's all I want to say. So make your time count. I was talking, I'll talk about Nolan now for a minute. I am buying some lures from MB Custom Tackle. I'm going to be posting up some of his pictures. He sent me on my Instagram and on YouTube on the community. I'm going to post some pictures so I could show you some of the work. And maybe, Nolan, you could send me some individual, some nice, clear, close-up pictures of. He ties some real awesome-looking streamers. And you can fish streamers for striper. I told him, he wanted to know, what do I fish? I don't have salmon here. So anything that you would fish for salmon, size-wise, hook size, send it on down the pike. If it glitters and it's got a nice big tail up, it's going to catch fish. And you go fishing for striper with that. Oh, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful with fly fishing. So I want to highlight some of his tackle. And some of you other people out there in YouTube land, if you guys do make tackle, send it to me. Send me some samples of it. I'm buying from Nolan. We're not asking for free things, but if you guys want us to highlight some of these cool things that you're making in the hunting or the fishing world, run it by me. We'll advertise it on our YouTube channel, and we'll try it out, and we'll give you guys a real good, honest review. And so this week I learned something from Nolan. He's a younger guy, and he's in 9th grade. And hats off to you, Nolan, that you got a business. 6 months he's in the business of doing NB custom lures. I think that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. No matter where it goes, it's the idea that you didn't give up and you did it. And I'm proud of you for that. You got a really cool thing going there. So I bought some lures, and we're going to try fishing these things. And while I'm talking to him this week, I get like a text on Instagram, an alert that NB was on the line. So I hit it, and next thing you know, I didn't even know you could do this. I was over my daughter's house, and my daughter says, I've been doing Instagram all these years. I didn't know you could do it either, but we did live FaceTime on Instagram, and it was so cool. I'm at the bottom half of the page. He's at the top, clear as a bell. Here he is in British Columbia, and here I am in Nashville, Tennessee. So, and Nolan, I had a great time. He's a wonderful young guy, and he's got big aspirations. And he sent me pictures of British Columbia there. I love the hillside with all the snow, the winter. Winter, I can't help it, is my most favorite time of year because I love outdoors. And I'm commonly now, we're going to be interjecting that in our name, that it'll be Fish Hook Outdoors, because it's the whole outdoors and everything you glean from it, from catch, clean, and cook to wonderful times around the fire, maybe cooking outside over a fire, which we'll do. I know everybody's been asking about it. We will be doing that. And we'll have all different types of scenarios like that. But I love the outdoors, and you got a good life up there. It's much colder than us. Oh, man, it is. That's your ski hill. It is ridiculously warm over here. It was in the 60s and the 50s, raining all day today, raining all day tomorrow. It's ridiculous. I don't know, MB, if you got a web page, but if you do, get information here. We'll put it on this site, and we'll push for you because I'm proud of what you're doing. He makes hard lures. I don't know about soft bait, but I saw a lot of cool stuff. Now, Dawson, you said it's slow right now. I'm out of South Mississippi and fish the Barrier Islands and Louisiana Marsh. How do I order some lures? Cool. Yeah, well, MB, there you go, buddy. You got some more customers. So you guys need to exchange email addresses. Excellent, excellent. But it was really fun talking to him. I was intrigued with the Instagram being on FaceTime. Technology is way past me, but that was really a lot of fun. We just had a blast. It was really good. So now what I want to show you is on the order of fishing. I've talked about all the different. I use a lot of different reels when I go fishing. Over the years, number one is Shimano products. I've learned to love them. I've spent good money on them, and they really haven't let me down. I really haven't had any major mishap other than service. Every now and then I had to put a bearing in. I mean, that's because you use it. Or accidentally it falls in the water. Stuff like that happens to all of us. Well, Shimano pen, I got the pen slammers that I'll be featuring now as the year unfolds. We're going to start using them. I've got the 4500 and the 6500. I had no idea how big they were. But tonight I would like to talk a little bit about, if you guys are interested, I want to show you some reels that I'm using. Oh, MB, do I have any Shimano rods? Yes, I have Therese. It's $200 rods. Really beautiful. They're beautiful. They're mainly for like boat rods because I like a long cork handle. They have the EVA foam handle. They got it's a great rod. It's got a nice bend to it, and you can heave out a 100-pound fish out of the ocean. It'll bend almost a complete U and still not break. It's really a well-made rod, a really good blank. But I buy. I used to go to Bass Pro too until they started getting crazy with pricing. So I would go online a lot and special order. But Ugly Stick has come a long way now. They make some really good rods and very inexpensive, $60, $40 to $60 should be. If you guys are, and ladies are getting ready to really start in the sport, let Fishhook help you get your tackle all set up. Help you not spend a lot of money, but spend, really, to be honest, yes, I advertise where you can go to Walmart at $100. You can buy, get started, but that's really super, super, super light duty. If you can stretch it to a couple of $100, $250, you can get a really good reel, a really nice rod or rods, and we'll try to key in on a certain type of fishing because you're not going to get the whole panorama. And you key in on it like Dawson. He's down in the marsh down in South Mississippi. Well, there's a certain type of fishing you want to do there. Reds. He's got over there. He's got a whole bunch of trout. He's got a whole bunch of good stuff. So he fishes for the same stuff that I do when I wade fish, and I'm inshore fishing in Florida. It's the Panhandle. It's Gulf. And it's from Texas all the way down the west coast of Florida. It's the same type of fishing. We have the same type of species of fish. And I'm liable to catch a giant. And this, I'm talking inshore now. I'm 3 miles and less. We're all going to catch the same good fish. So this basic stuff. So I talked to you guys about the Iowa BG reels. About a year ago, I really got some good deals online. I've got them as cheap as $65 to as much as $84. They average 80 to 100 now. I was lucky to get really good deals on eBay, all brand new, authorized with the warranties. So what I have here now, I want to show you. This here is like butter. This is a BG 3000 reel. I'll just show you this, what it looks like. It is beautiful. You don't have to do any modifications to this type of reel. Let me angle this down a little. There we go. A little bit more, but let's listen. Do you hear anything? That's like glass. Look at that. Isn't that ridiculous? I've got this one spooled with a 10-pound mono. I do smallie fishing with this, smallmouth. Because with mono, it's the bomb. It's the absolute bomb. But it's got a real nice fighting handle. Really, this is nice. It's like some of my other reels, like the Cabos. They come out and then down. It just gives you that really good, as if you got a real fighting handle. And you don't have to upgrade some of your reels and spend $20 on a lot of my Shimano ones. I love it. So you own, let me see, Dawson said, great reel, you own a 2500 by far. Yeah, they're up to about 100 now. If you guys always be searching, you can put a search thing in there and a question in eBay on a watch list, and people will pick up on it, and you'll find a deal. There was a deal at one time. I talked to one of the vendors via the computer, and he said that there was a certain time when eBay was co-oping with the vendors, and they were eating some of the costs, so we lowered it down. I was getting it for $20 less than everybody else. I bought like a dozen reels. So this is the BG 3000. So now Dawson, the 2500 is wonderful. I like to start with a 3000 because I think I got a better range of fish, but 2500 is great. These have good capacity. Like on this one here, I don't even know if I could see it. Wow, this is small. On braid, I can't even read this. It's so small. It has a lot of capacity, trust me. So they come in a box like this. I just love it. It's like Christmas every time I buy this. So that's a BG 3000. Now I want to take it out. I have boxes of brand new reels. I haven't started yet. This is the disease you're going to get when you get hooked. Now there's a reason I want to show you this. I'm going to show you some of these reels side by side. These are bigger than most reels. The Pen Slammer being the biggest. It's unbelievable. Now, MB, you said you use a Pen 4000. Yep. Okay, and I'm going to show you what a BG 4000 looks like. So this is a BG 3000. And I've got some specs here. Let me talk about that first. Before I open this, I want to tell you. Here's some of the things. I'm not going to bore you either. You guys can go online and see this. It's an anodized machine aluminum housing. It's a hard body side and cover. It's inside here. There. It's a big, what they call a digitized gear. Big gear with big teeth. And it's called, their term is a digi-gear system. Solid screw-in handles. Some of them handles are two-piece. You lock them into that. This was well thought of, away from the bell. Oh man, you can hold it, and you got more. It's like both hands on the steering wheel. You know what? Some of these reels have these tiny little dumb handles, and you like this. You know how many times I had to go buy new handles? I need a fighting handle. And then, they call it an air rotor. It's a aluminum and ABS spool, and it's a waterproof drag system in here. And then a machine screw-in handle. Another thing that I look for, and you guys should be looking for this too. This is a very, very affordable. I would love if any of you guys are going to start fishing, if I could talk you into buying, not from me, but if you go into our Amazon store, you can buy it there, and then that helps support the channel. But nevertheless, at least a 2500 or 3000 BG reel. That's the best $80 or $70 that you guys will invest. And this will last you for years. Just look at that. I mean, that's like butter, man. It's beautiful. Why does it do that? Because these come with 6 ball bearings. That's another key ingredient. Charles, I'll answer yours in a minute. That's another key ingredient when you're looking for a good reel. The more ball bearings, the more you're going to spend. Buddy, they put it everywhere you need it, and it will make a world of difference fighting a fish. Now, let me tell you something else. 6 ball bearings is beautiful. Like a 2500, okay, Dawson, Here's your specs. I printed this up. Yours weighs 9 ounces. They're a little heavier than normal, cheaper reels. The line capacity on yours, I run solid braid and salt water, solid. And these are braid. I'll show you on a new one. I'll show you what I mean by a braid ready reel. There's some really cool innovations, and all the manufacturers are doing this. But that'll a 2500, which is a little smaller, will hold 190 yards of 10-pound braid. That's beautiful for snook, reds, and everything of that thing. You run 15-pound. I did 10 pounds for years until I lost some real trophy fish. And I mean, honestly, for years, I stopped everything. But I hooked into some class 3. I fished a tiny little, what's it called again? Not a DOA. It's a, oh boy, it's another famous brand. I'm going brain dead now, but a Mirror. The tiniest one they had, and I was wade fishing, and I just whaled it out there. I got a really good cast on it, and guess what? A 5.5, 6 foot, this is the truth, a class 3 tarpon bolted out of the water and just danced like that, instantly snapped my 10-pound braid. It must have looked like a shrimp. I didn't even have it. I was in shock. I didn't even have time to reel the thing. No sooner it hit the water, bam, this thing came out and twirled his body like they do and busted it immediately. And this huge tarpon came out of the water. I was shocked. I didn't stand a chance this side of heaven stopping a locomotive like that. And you also, and yours, you have 6 ball bearings. And another thing that's really tremendous with these, another key factor when you're looking for a reel, you want a lot of bearings. You want a really good line retrieve. This one has 5.6 to 1. That means a little more than 5.5 revolutions of every time you turn 1 revolution, this spool will turn will rotate a little more than 5.5 times. And the line pickup, you ready for this? On a little 2500, 33.2 inches of retrieve, almost a full yard. That's unbelievable. So you don't have to be going like that. You can go like this. And do you know every revolution, 3 feet, 3 feet, 3 feet, you'll reel in a fish. It's unbelievable. Plus, their drag system is phenomenal. And so is Penn's. And you'll never use. So don't let that be the only predominating factor when you buy a reel. But it's a very good factor in this case. The 2500 that Dawson has 13.2 pounds of drag. Are you kidding me? He could hold a 20-pound snookback with 13 pounds of drag. That is unbelievable amount of drag. We just don't realize that, how much pressure that is to break a line. And if you play your drag right, you don't just lock it down, because then it's like something stiff that if the fish just snaps his head one way, he'll snap it. You hold your rod at a 45-degree angle. You don't hold it out like that, because then your direct line to fish, you're going to lose no matter what you got. Because if the fish just jacks his head one way or another, you're going to lose your fish. He's going to snap your line. Where use your rod and your drag to your advantage. And the other thing, let me see. That was 33 thing. There was another point I wanted to bring you about this. Yeah, the waterproof and braid ready. The other one, these are all specs. Let me show you a 3500 so you get an idea of, this is the first time I'm taking it out of the box. Let me see what else they give you in here. Oh, this is your handles in here and your all the specs. I want to just give you an idea how big these reels are. This is my hand. Look at it. This is huge. This is like a 4,000 to a 4,500 Penn reel, not a slammer. These are a little bit larger than I'm used to. And here's a 3,000 reel. So if I put it side by side, let me see if I can do this so you guys can see. I'll put nose to nose. The other one's a solid half-inch longer. Look at that. This is tremendously bigger. Now, if you guys can catch this, there we go. You see that middle band around there? It looks like a rubber band. That's a rubber thing. They call that. That's how it qualifies as a braid-ready spool. You can tie down to that with an arbor knot or another good slip knot and cinch it down where it'll bite and not slip on the spool. With all other spools up until they did braid ready, and I'll tell you how we got around that. Up until they made braid ready spools, I would tie on like maybe a 3 or 4 foot piece of mono. And mono would bite, has a little stretch, it'll bite more, it won't slip. Like if I tied regular braid, it'd be spinning around. What we did to overcome that, I gave up the mono because it was taking up valuable real estate on my spool. I wanted to get as much braid as possible on here, right to the edge of where the head of the spool flares out. We would take a strip of electrical tape, stretch it and tightly wind it just one time around. And that would give me the same feel as this. And then we could cinch down a piece of braid. It won't spin. And then with a weight, there's so many different configurations. We were able to spool under slight tension, not real hard, slight tension, and we would spool them up. But that's how we did it. But now they come with braid ready. And this is really all the main reels are doing this now because they all copycat each other. Once a new trick is unveiled, everybody does it. But that's a 3,500. Now we're going to step it up. I've got them all the way to 8,000, but I'm only going to show you the 3 that I use for everything. For everything. Once in a blue moon, I'll bring out a 5,000. This is a 4,000. Honestly, it feels like Christmas. It really does. I love it. It's like candy. Candy. You never will grow up. Once you get this addiction, you don't grow up. It's no fun to grow up. This is a 4,000. This thing is stinking huge. Absolutely huge. Now, I'll put it next to they look really, really close to bodies. Let me see. This one is almost just a hair bigger than the 3,500. But this is a 4,000. The spool is round. It's a little bit bigger. You could see the face to hold more capacity. I think it says on the box here, if I could see this, let me see. If you put 20-pound braid on, they're saying you could do 370 yards. Now, here's another thing that happens in the world of fishing, and I'm guilty of it like everybody else. I want to put 500 yards on. That's ridiculous. I have Daiwa Surf 6000s. They have a capacity of over 500 yards of braid. I put 500 yards of 30-pound Power Pro. That is a waste. 300 yards is more than enough unless you're going out for fish that really, really run. And you better use a big conventional reel because I don't know of any spinning reel, even the 8,000 or the 12,000 bonus that has a reel big enough, even my big Finors, that will have enough to stop, say you get a sailfish or a big barracuda or a big kingfish. He's going to take off like a rocket and he's going to peel drag. You're not going to stop him. You're not going to stop him. Now, Dawson, what'd you say? You got some of the Stratic FKs on sale before. Oh, okay. Smaller than the BG and has 20 pounds of drag. Yeah, it's amazing. You're never going to use that. You're never going to use that. That's a sad part unless you're going out really for the big bull redfish where I've used the Daiwa, that black one. I forget the name of that one. That's a really good reel. It's a big reel. It's almost like a surf reel, a big boat reel. It's a spinning reel, and I have 50-pound braid to hold them in. But you can catch them on less than that. I was with a guide that time, and I caught a really big. It's on Instagram. I showed you a picture of me holding it. I think it was 35, 40 pounds, and I caught it on 50-pound braid. I think that was totally unnecessary. You don't have to lock down your drag. You want to fight the fish. You don't want to be mismatched if at all possible, because there's a lot of lactic acid. You just wear the fish plumb out, and then you got to sit there holding his tail, pulling him back and forth, aerating, getting water through his gills, resuscitating him, because he's prime target. If there's a shark or a big group of there, they're going to kill him. He ain't going to know what hit him. So you kind of want to catch the fish as reasonably fast as possible. Enjoy the fight and all the jumping out of the water if they do that, all the runs, and then get them in. Otherwise, if you're so mismatched and you got a 3,000, you get a real monster on. I've hooked. There's been some videos that we shot, Amy and I, when we're fishing in just getting into the Gulf inshore, really, and I think it was really a big shark, but he never surfaced. And man, it was just peeling out. I couldn't stop it. I had that drag locked down. She got behind the wheel, and I said, "Follow wherever this line goes, steer in that direction." And I kept up. He would have spooled me. I couldn't stop him, and I had a 3,000. What was I going to do with that? It's like me fighting an elephant. I couldn't do it. So eventually I had to stop, lock it down, and pull it back and snap the line. He would have spooled me, and I didn't want to get spooled. So there's different types of actions for different types of situations. But you'll have more fun with a 3,000, a 3,500, or even a 25 and up to a 4,000. I mean, these are big reels. This 4,000 really surprised me. I had the Shimano Spheros, the previous generation. I bought the whole set from that Southeastern Fishing Tackle Liquidators, who I buy almost probably 65, 75% of all my gear I've bought from him over the last 15 years in Florida. And he's really matched the internet prices. And Vince and Mike is the brothers that own the store, and they really work. We became really good friends. So I bought my my Shimano Charter Specials from him, and the TLDs. Oh, they're just great conventional reels. I like them, and I like having a level drag system on there. That's just me, what the type of fishing I like to do. But these reels are just fabulous. You will not be disappointed for a good utility reel, and you can have a ball with it. Now, in salt water, I'm going to tell you, they even warned me, like when you're going with the boat, try not to get them in the splash, because inadvertently, you're going to get water up underneath this. And when you guys go to wash your reels down, and we'll do a segment on maintenance, how to properly clean them. I wash mine down when I'm saltwater fishing. Every time I do saltwater fishing, I wash them down. I bring the reels and the rods all set up. I put them in the shower in the corner, and I hose them from the top down, always in this direction. Never underneath. Never do that. I go all around the reel, and I never squirt underneath the spool here, because if you do, it'll seep right through the center shaft. Water will get in here, and especially salt water. This past week, first time I had to do this, I can't remember when the last time this ever happened, but on my, no, it was on a 3,500. It's smooth like this. And then you would hear like it had sand or grit in there, and it would still work. And you could hear it like rubbing like sandpaper against sandpaper. So I took it in. It cost $25. I said, I want you to service it, and I want you to tell me what's wrong. Don't you know, the pinion gear bearing was shot. And I said, how'd that happen? He said, this has been underwater. There's evidence of salt water in here. That's why you got to take care of your reels. And evidently, whether it got splashed on the back of the boat when it's in this direction and you're running this way, splash is coming, it gets in there, you can't stop it. They're going to get beat up out here. They're going to get beat up. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay? So be careful when you wash. Wash your rods totally down. If you could soap them down, that's even better. But face down, never from behind. But these reels, I'm telling you, 6 ball bearings, what a difference. They just go like glass. They go like glass. I love them. So I retired my Shimano Spheros. I had the whole series. I took all the 2500, 3000, 3500, and the 4000 reels. I brought them all up to Tennessee, and I said, maybe I'll get another 20 years out of them in freshwater. And I didn't want to ruin them anymore. I mean, I beat them up in salt water, but I'm just anal about cleaning them. I never had a down day, and they're much smaller profile, way smaller this way and lengthwise, just a small little reel. This is even probably the size of the 4000 and maybe a little bit bigger. That's how reels they used to be made. But now, especially Daiwa came out with a bigger profile reel. The Penn Slammer on another, maybe next week I'll bring out, if I think I have my Penn Slammers here, I'll show you them and I'll do a comparison and you'll see the difference. It's just amazing. Different manufacturers. I couldn't believe it. A 4500 was ginormous, so I got to drop all the way down to a 3000. But stopping power is awesome. The reel capacity, the spool capacity has really been improved. It's nice to have these small ones with a big reel capacity that you can put a little stronger braid on there. It would help when you're fishing, because if you do any kind of saltwater fishing or not, you're going to find out that you're going to meet a big bruiser every now and then, and it's going to be it's going to be all hands on deck, all hands on deck. So I want to tell you something today in the news. I always like to give you a little bit of news at the end of the broadcast. We're at an hour already. Would you believe this? Only about a week and a half ago, fish that is, fresh and salt, yes. A week and a half ago in Miami, Customs picked up something that was headed for China, to go on a boat to China. Now check this out, January 24th of this year. They picked up 18 boxes. They had to be tipped off. They opened them all up, and guess what was in there? There were 1,400 pounds of dried shark fins. That's unbelievable. So who knows how many dozens and dozens and dozens of sharks to get 1,400 pounds of shark fins. How many dozens of sharks were killed unnecessarily in that way? And they were headed toward China, and with an estimated retail value of $1 million. So China, as crooked as they are, they will up the ante. They have the money. For enough money, people are doing the most unbelievable. Now, what are they used for? Shark fin soup. Maybe it tastes good. I never had it, but the Asian people love fish. Japan is known for that. They're big fish eaters on the Far East, just like I am too. And they acquired a taste. I never heard of that before. Shark fin soup, even in Japan, shark fin soup. But at the cost of killing thousands of sharks needlessly and not utilizing their meat, just taking their main fin off the top and tossing them in the ocean. That's like saying, okay, you can go back out there, cut your left leg off. I mean, the thing is going to hobble around, and now it just makes for a mess. But it shows you how low humanity can get when they do stuff like that. So I just thought you guys would be interested in knowing that. That was just the news for today. Now, Dawson, what'd you say? The Chinese don't care? Yeah, they don't care about the environment. They're killing the environment. They're ripping. They are patent thieves too. But we're not going to make this a political channel, other than the fact, and I trust all you guys are pro-USA, pro-American, and standing for your country. This year's a big year. It's election time. I'm vocal about who I believe in, what I believe in, and on my faith, I'm very vocal about that. I hope you guys love your country. You're proud of it. And I hope before you go vote, please look at all the issues and where President Trump stands and where the opponents stand. I'm not for any political party. Okay, I'm just going to give you 2 cents here. I want the best man. I don't care if he's Democrat, independent. I don't care what party he belongs to. If he belongs to one at all. If he knows how to run a country and believes in God and has his right moral beliefs, anti-abortion and so forth, then I'm going to listen to him and I'm going to look at that guy and see if he has a credible background. We as Christians, we pray, and I'm calling all you guys, pray for your leaders. And hopefully the one that will protect our rights, from gun rights to have a gun in the house to protect ourselves, and then also to back up the NRA for hunting and stuff, all used for the right purposes. You know, I thought it was real funny. I'll just interject here. Mike Patron, how you doing, buddy? All the way from California. Nice to have you, man. I'm getting ready to get off the air now, but I wanted to say that I forgot my train of thought there. How do you like that one? I went right off the train of thought when I saw Mike over there. But you just you can't throw the babe out with the bathwater. Look at everything. Make sure that the candidate is pro-America, that there aren't ulterior motives. You got to look. Now, for example, at least we have a president now that you can look at after it will be eventually 4 years of what he promised and what he did. And look at his accomplishments and look at the things that maybe you thought should have been done and weren't done. No president is going to be our savior. But it would be great if we as a nation could be united again, could rally around our top leader. That's a sacred position, the White House. And can all say together, God bless America, put our hand over our heart and sing the Pledge of Allegiance. Remember, our forefathers gave up their life that we can have this freedom, that we could speak it. So that's all I want to say. Look at it carefully before you go in the voting booth. Don't vote Colin Powell. When President Obama was elected the first time, he's a 4-star general, had the utmost respect for him, but I really lost a lot of respect when he was quoted, and it was in writing, that when he was getting ready to vote and Obama was running, that he made a statement that I was shocked at, saying, he's going to vote color. There's no call for that ever, 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 ever to say something like that. There was no call for that. So this country's been great to Colin Powell. And he's a 4-star general of the most powerful army, powerful nation in the world has ever seen. And to say something like that is like to leave your senses behind you. So there's no reason for that. I hope you guys had a great evening tonight. I did. I really enjoyed myself. There's more stuff I want to talk about, but we're going to continue this next Tuesday. So in the meantime, I just want to reiterate a little bit. If you guys have some great content, you want to talk about some subjects, please email me. I really mean it. Let me give you my email. Here we go. It is fishhook2019 at gmail.com. Please send me that. I can be found on Instagram. It's on our YouTube thing, all our addresses there, because I don't even know them by heart. Facebook. But the best way to contact is Gmail and email, and I will email you guys back. That's a promise. I want to stay very much in contact. I appreciate everybody that's been on the channel and those that are going to be looking at it that maybe are new to the channel. Thank you so much. We need you guys to hit the subscribe button. Give us a like if you like this, if you liked everything we talked about. I'm trying to go middle of the road. It's not a political channel by no means, but we're in a momentous time in history now. So let's all do the right thing and rally together. Let's protect what we have so that nobody else gets it. and we can keep it pristine and have a future for our kids and our kids' kids and all the generations to follow. I enjoyed being with you guys, and as usual, thank you for supporting the channel. To my regular people that put us where we are today. We're going places, and we've got some good things that are coming down the pike. I can't reveal them yet, but some great things are in the works already. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week. Take care.